where's Rory? All ready at the back? Yep. Cool. Rory, over to you.
Thank you. Joe, I haven't trained yet, so I'm asking in hope rather than expectation about team news.
No, we haven't got anything.
Sorry. I mean, before Paul Elizabeth, you were clear that Don Best would play. Is that same as, or you got a few more options?
I think we've got to see how training goes today. Jofra trained yesterday, but with good pace, looked in a really good place. So that's a really promising sign for us as a team. Really good to see him back. I think the most important thing is seeing how he backs that up today, making sure there's no lingering injury or any soreness off the back of him really upping his workloads. Now, hopefully he can get through today, and then we've got a really good headache selection ahead of us.
And then, I mean, from what your previous experiences here, best case scenario, would it be quite a nice place to pair up Archer and Wood for the first time?
Yeah, it would. It'd be nice to see how that looks, see how they go together. I think it'd be relentless barrage of pace, which is exciting, especially on a surface like you would typically get here at the Wanderers. But I also think it's really important that you look at who's got some very good records here. Guys like Vernon Philander, averaging 20 odd, show that the areas you bowl, the accurate guys, are the ones that really have success. So we've been very good in that department on this tour, and especially in the last two games. So that'll be a big challenge for the group. It'd be great to have that extra bit of pace and that extra bit of firepower, but ultimately we've got to make sure we hit those areas and ask the good questions that we have done in the last couple of games.
And it's obviously not an easily done thing, winning 3 in a row overseas. That's what you're chasing. How big a sort of an achievement would that be if you can get it done?
It would be a very big achievement for this group. It's been a tour that's sort of thrown everything at us. I think collectively as a squad, not just the players but the coaching staff, all the backroom staff have worked tirelessly to make sure that we stayed calm, we stayed very in control, or as much in control as we can. And then when we've got our opportunities to bounce back, we've really taken them and created an environment where lads have not felt like they can't go and play their natural games, but ultimately really take on whatever's thrown at them. So it's been really pleasing in many ways. As I've said before, we're a very young side at the start of something, and we've seen some very promising performances from young players, and hopefully that can continue throughout this week as well.
Chris?
Joe, on the series win, you were able to get over the line and achieve that. For you, as captain, would that be your proudest moment, your best result, do you think?
Yeah, I think it probably would be, yeah. As I said, because of the different things we've had to manage throughout this tour, we've had a couple of injuries, guys have to fly home, senior players have to fly home through serious injury. We've had a lot of illness to deal with, and we've had to actually adapt to very different conditions, and for what is generally a very young group of players to be able to manage that, it's been really pleasing and a sign that we're doing the right things, both on the field but in practice and preparation as well. And if we can harness that, we can keep taking that forward, keep looking to constantly improve as a group, then I do think the sky's the limit for this team. But we are very much at the start of something here, and we're not perfect by any stretch of the means. We're going to have to keep that attitude and keep driving that forward for a long time if we want to get to number 1 in the world.
Joe, as you would know, it's Vernon Philander's last test. What makes him difficult to face?
He's very accurate, very accurate. He gets the ball to move off the straight, he hits the string, and he asks good questions for long periods of time. He's proven performer everywhere he's been, and he's got a very good record here. So, from our point of view, it'd be nice to keep him quiet for this last Test match. I'm sure he'll have a very good time down at Somerset when he joins it with them as well.
What are your memories of the Test match here 4 years ago? You made 104, took 6 for. What are your memories of that?
Yeah, very good memories. We won the series here last time round, and that spell from Brody was one of, I think that'd probably be right up there with his spell at Trent Bridge against Australia. Some really high quality wickets, some good catching in there, especially at short leg, and that really turned the game on its head. I think it was 5 for 1. Went from 30 for none lead to 35 for 6 or whatever it was, and we pretty much wrapped up the series in an hour's time. So he'll have fun memories, and he'll definitely be looking at areas that He wants to really stamp his mark on this series as well.
He actually said he watched it this morning on YouTube, so he didn't go very well. It was probably me.
I think he got the ball moving around. I think that's one of the challenges for our bowling group here, is it might start swinging again, so that control of areas and control of length is going to be really key for us. And I think if we can, like I say, adapt to these conditions, see the different challenges that this venue will provide, and outperform South Africa in those areas, then that'll set us in a really good spot.
Will and Paul and Dean.
Joe, could you just talk about Stuart's development since then, and under your captaincy, he was always known as a streaky bowler who'd get on all these amazing spells, but there haven't actually been that many of them since Johannesburg, but he's been really consistent, hasn't he?
He has. I think one thing that Stuart's actually done, especially in England, is bowl a little bit fuller. I think he's probably picked up more consistent wickets off the back of that. Wickets have probably assisted him a little bit more in those periods, but he's someone that will always keep running in for you and keep, on occasions will be quite grumpy, but you expect that from a senior fast bowler. One thing he's got is a big heart, and he wants to do well for the team, and when you've got an attitude like that and the skills that he has, you're going to be successful. So I think what he's done is he's been on certain tours, and when it's not gone well, he's looked at it and he's continued to keep looking to get better. And that's a real good example for the young guys in the team as well, that he, even at his age, with the amount of wickets he's got, is still not standing still as a player. He's looking to drive his game forward, and chase Jimmy's records down.
How do you know when he's getting grumpy? What does that
He's quite stubborn. I think there's a bit of a clash there on occasions, but that just shows that he cares, and I quite like to see him in that mood sometimes, because you know that his heart's in it and he wants to really perform.
Paul.
Joe, just what do you have to prove today that you can get through back-to-back tests?
We'll keep an eye on how he goes, but I think he's pulled up pretty well from my understanding. Of course, he's not bowled as yet, but I'm sure that he'll be in a very good place mentally, and that's a good starting point. So hopefully, as with Jofra, he can get through training, bowling good pace, and I'm really looking forward to this next session facing him.
Dean.
What's your impression or take on how Joe Denley's going at 3? I mean, he's obviously had some pretty decent starts. He's using up quite a few balls, and he admitted himself that maybe he hasn't been able to play the kind of expansive game that he'd like to. Are you just quite happy with him to keep going as things are, or is there anything that you can do as a top order batsman yourself to kind of, help him blossom, I guess?
I think with Joe, you start the good thing is he's been consistently getting himself in, and if he keeps creating those opportunities, a player of his calibre will go on and make a big score. He's good enough to do that. I think one of the hardest things to contend with is every time it doesn't happen, you put a little bit more pressure on yourself. I think more than anything, my message to him is just to relax, just trust his game, try and stay busy at the crease, try and get off strike every now and again. But one thing that we've done very well in the last 2 games is we've set a really good platform for the middle order to go and play. And of course, it's not always been pretty, and he might have scored a little bit slower than you'd expect him to, or he would expect himself to. But it's done a really good job for us. It might not be the case here. It might be a bit more free flowing, very fast scoring ground. So I try not to overthink it. Trust his technique, trust his ability, and when he gets to 30, just get that bit between his teeth. And you're probably looking at the wrong guy when you're talking about converting scores. So trust what he's done time and time again in county cricket, that he's good enough to go on and get that 100.
So yeah, last one.
Joe, just a word or two on Ollie, the last couple of tours, and I mean, the rest of the world hadn't seen him at all, and now he's fared. And as a captain, obviously, to have that leverage, those couple of wicket keepers, all going first place, and they're all scoring runs.
Yeah, it's one of those positions you want as a side. You want a number of guys putting their hand forward and taking their opportunities. And to see Ollie come in and play, we've all known that he's a fantastic player. He's got a very wide-ranging game. We've seen that in county cricket. He's been the outstanding performer, if you like, over the last couple of seasons. Even though he's not played a full part in the 2 campaigns, he's really stood out with some very big contributions. So we know that he's a talent, but for him to go and prove that to everyone in Test cricket is a real big statement for him. like with the other youngsters, he's very much at the start of things, and he will make mistakes every now and again. So not putting too much pressure on him, I think, is an important part of it. But we've seen what he's capable of. He's got a very good game, front foot, back foot. Very accomplished on the short ball. When he's been asked good questions at that high pace this tour, he's managed to hit it almost 360, which is quite impressive, and shows that he is very capable in Test cricket.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.